Welcome back to NCTV. I'm your host, Collin. I'm the winemaker at Nottingham Cellars. We're joined here by my friend and general manager at the Vine and Bridges, Dave Gibson. Dave has become a good friend of mine here in the wine industry. We met each other in 2008. Dave ran a wine shop down here in downtown Danville in 2008, 2009, and that's where we first met when we were out pushing Satyrs Pond wine. So he's kind of been around and seen the evolution into Nottingham Cellars and some of the things we're doing now. And Dave is really one of my biggest inspirations when it comes to Rhone style wines, because these are the wines that he's most passionate about, really got me into, and we both agreed at some point along the way that Livermore Valley, you know, the soils and the topographical information, the terroir really suits some of the Rhone style wines.
And you're killing it. They're fantastic. The Awakening was one of the first wines that my team of sommeliers blindly purchased for the vine, and it happens to be the first Livermore wine that we ever purchased too. I really think that that's the direction Livermore needs to go. It's like you said, between the terroir, the median temperature, it's screaming for Rhone and even some Iberian varietals. I think that that's Livermore's niche. Yeah, people will awaken to it.
I'm gonna tastefully disagree, because I think really what, you know, Livermore, I think the cool thing about Livermore is the diversity in its, you know, different microclimates within the region. Some of the warmer areas of the region really suit well for some of the Bordeaux varieties. It doesn't get too hot, but you get those optimal ripe flavors. But yeah, you're right. We're seeing a little more clay as opposed to some of the more, you know, gravelly soils. Grenache just flourishes, and the Marina Ranch is really a good example of that. So, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we taste a little wine, talk about them, see what you think, and yeah, just nerd out a little.
So you want to go ahead and start with our 2012 Arroyo Seco Viognier here?
Sure. We started producing Viognier from the Livermore Valley in 2007. We bought a couple tons from Del Arroyo Vineyard. The wine was actually supposed to be used for a white table wine that we were producing for Satyrs Pond, and as it turns out, those Viognier grapes outperformed some of our higher end stuff that we were doing, and when we launched Nottingham, that was one of our inaugural whites. What's kind of happened since is I wanted to hone in on a leaner style of wine, so I since have moved my production to Arroyo Seco. It's Monterey County, cool climate, produces brighter natural acids, a little bit leaner style wine. I don't have Sauv Blanc in my portfolio, so this is my lean introductory white.
No, this wine is gorgeously bright, man. I really love how you're able to maintain that wonderful stone fruit while still capturing the minerality, you know, without any really heavy oaking. It's what I like to call a beautiful porch pounder. Yeah. It's something you can open up at any time of the day, open up poolside, open up when you're not even thinking about having a glass. That's something really refreshing and light that you can enjoy at any time.
Let's take a look at the Awakening. And as I pour the wine here for you, I'll give you a little insight to my method of madness at the winery. For Rhone varieties in general, not all the time, but as a rule of thumb, my approach to them is really embracing fruit from particular grow sites. And that can be said about all my winemaking. For my Bordeaux, I'm looking for something a little more gritty and tannic and age-worthy, you know, more structure as opposed to this fleshy, opulent fruit with my Rhones. What I've done here in the Livermore Valley is honed in on what I think are the best three grow sites for Grenache, Syrah, and Mourvedre. So, Gib, what would you pair with this wine?
Oh, you know what? I think that this wine could hold up to any terrestrial meats. You could go with classic pairings like anything from pork to, you know, any kinds of grilled chicken. But you could also go into some of the funkier stuff. You could go into bison, you could do wild game. Any of that stuff's fantastic with it. I say throw something on the grill. This is going to be just a killer wine with anything you throw. It's that kind of brambleberry cobbler with that wonderful integrated 5 spice, that hint of that cinnamon spice and just really dark fruit in the back of the palate. Long lingering fish. This is a rock star, man. This has the acid to go against just about any kind of food, but at the same time, it's elegant enough and enough of a finished product to even drink on its own. It doesn't need food, but you could put it with anything from potato chips in a football game to a big cookout in the backyard with friends and family. I don't think anyone would spit this out, man. I think this is a killer little wine.
I hope they wouldn't spit it out. Speaking of that, actually, both these wines are available by the glass right now here at the Vine at Bridges. You know, why don't you just tell us a little bit about what's going on here at the Vine? You know, is there anything you got coming up or anything you want the people to know? Now's your chance.
Well, every Thursday night, we feature different wineries. We just recently had Nottingham Cellars out here, and it was a fantastic tasting. So Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m., we always do a Meet the Winemaker tasting. Saturdays from 12 to 4, we have other tastings going on. But more than anything, we'd really like to be a place for people to congregate and come hang out and just talk about wines like this, to be able to open bottles or maybe get a flight and sit down and either make some new friends or catch up with a loved one or maybe be a great place for a first date. We like to do all of it. We've got live music Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, so it doesn't suck, man. It's a good time. We really like to have a lot of fun.
Nice.
So, it's hard not to have fun when you're tasting great wines all day long.
Hey, Dave, thanks again for having us out. Really appreciate it.
Dude, anytime. You know I love this stuff.
All right, cool, man. Well, again, be sure to check out the Vine at Bridges. In my mind, the East Bay's premier retail wine shop and wine bar. It's a great time out here. I'm taking them up on the bring your girlfriend, bring a date, have some fun, drink some wine offer that he's giving you all. So I hope you guys do too. Yeah. Well, thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time on NCTV.